When upgrading household ranges, several factors must be considered to ensure electrical safety and compliance with the National Electrical Code (NEC). The NEC provides guidelines for sizing branch circuits and overcurrent protection for appliances like electric ranges. Firstly, NEC Section 422.10 addresses branch circuit requirements for appliances. The first paragraph of 422.10 states that the branch circuit rating shall not be less than the March rating of the appliance. However, the last paragraph of 422.10 allows branch circuits to be sized according to Table 220.19 demand loads if the appliance rating is equal to or less than the branch circuit rating, as specified in the first paragraph. If the appliance rating exceeds the branch circuit rating, the branch circuit must be sized to accommodate the appliance rating, as stated in the last paragraph. To illustrate these principles, let's consider two common scenarios: a 13 kW range drawing 54.2 amps and a 13.8 kW range drawing 57.5 amps. For a 13 kW range which draws 54.2 amps, Table 310.16 dictates the appropriate conductor size. According to Table 310.16, number 6 American wire gauge (AUG) conductors are required to handle a continuous load of 54.2 amps. It is crucial to use conductors that are rated for at least this amperage to prevent overheating and potential fire hazards. Next, the overcurrent protection, typically a circuit breaker, must be sized appropriately. Following NEC Section 240.4, a 60 amp breaker may be used to protect the number 6 AWG conductors. This provision allows for the next higher standard overcurrent device rating when the conductor ampacity does not correspond to a standard breaker size. It is important to know that the breaker's primary function is to protect the conductors from overcurrent conditions such as short circuits or overloads. If the range is plug connected, the selection of the range cable, plug, and receptacle becomes critical. All these components must be rated for at least 50 amps. While a 50 amp rated plug and receptacle are acceptable, the circuit conductor ampacity must be at least 54.2 amps, and the overcurrent device must be rated for 60 amps or less. This configuration ensures that the conductors can safely carry the load, and the breaker provides adequate protection against overcurrent. Now let's address the second scenario, a 13.8 kW range that draws 57.5 amps. Again, referring to Table 310.16, number 4 AWG conductors are required to accommodate a continuous load of 57.5 amps. Using number 4 AWG conductors ensures that the wiring can safely handle the higher current demand without overheating. As with the 13 kW range, a 60 amp breaker may be used for overcurrent protection, following NEC Section 240.4. Hardwiring the range with number 4 AWG conductors and a 60 amp breaker provides a robust and compliant solution for the 13.8 kW range. This configuration ensures that the range receives the necessary current while maintaining electrical safety. Beyond these specific examples, several additional considerations are vital for a safe and effective range upgrade. Firstly, it is imperative to ensure that the existing service panel has sufficient capacity to support the increased load of the new range. Overloading the service panel can lead to breaker tripping, voltage drops, and potentially dangerous conditions. A load calculation should be performed to determine the total demand in the service panel and verify that it can handle the additional load of the new range. Secondly, the circuit should be dedicated solely to the range. Sharing the circuit with other appliances can cause overloading and increase the risk of tripping the breaker or overheating the wiring. A dedicated circuit ensures that the range has a reliable and uninterrupted power supply. Thirdly, consider using a separate ground fault circuit interrupter (GFCI) for added protection. While not always required by code for range circuits, a GFCI can provide an extra layer of safety by detecting ground faults and quickly interrupting the circuit, reducing the risk of electrical shock. A ground fault occurs when current flows through an unintended path, such as through a person touching a live wire and a grounded object. GFCIs are designed to detect these small imbalances in current and trip the circuit, preventing serious injury. Finally, it is always advisable to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure proper installation and compliance with current electrical codes. Electrical codes can vary depending on the location and are subject to change, so it is essential to have a professional assess the situation and perform the installation. A qualified electrician can verify that the wiring is adequate, the overcurrent protection is appropriate, and all connections are made correctly, ensuring a safe and reliable installation. Understanding the NEC requirements for upgrading household ranges is crucial for ensuring electrical safety and preventing potential hazards. By following the guidelines for circuit sizing, overcurrent protection, and other considerations, you can safely upgrade your range and enjoy its benefits without compromising safety. Remember to always consult with a qualified electrician for any electrical work to ensure compliance with local codes and regulations. In summary, when dealing with a 13 kilowatt range, number 6 AWG conductors protected by a 60 amp breaker are appropriate. If using a plug-connected configuration, the range cable, plug, and receptacle must all be rated for at least 50 amps. For a 13.8 kilowatt range, number 4 AWG conductors protected by a 60 amp breaker are recommended, and hard wiring the range is an acceptable solution. Always verify that the existing service panel has sufficient capacity, dedicate the circuit to the range, and consider using a GFCI for added protection. And, of course, consult with a qualified electrician to ensure a safe and compliant installation. These steps will help ensure a smooth and safe upgrade of your household range. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous if not performed correctly, so it is always best to seek professional assistance when in doubt. In addition to the specific requirements for conductor sizing and overcurrent protection, it is important to consider the overall condition of the electrical system when upgrading a household range. Older homes may have outdated wiring or undersized service panels that are not adequate for modern appliances. In such cases, it may be necessary to upgrade the entire electrical system to ensure that it can safely handle the increased load of the new range. An electrician can assess the condition of the existing wiring and service panel and recommend any necessary upgrades. This may involve replacing old wiring, upgrading the service panel, or adding additional circuits to accommodate the new range and other appliances. Another important consideration is the location of the range. If the range is located near water sources, such as a sink or dishwasher, it is especially important to use a GFCI protected circuit to prevent electrical shock. GFCIs are designed to quickly interrupt the circuit in the event of a ground fault, which can occur when electricity flows through water. Installing a GFCI can significantly reduce the risk of electrical shock in these situations. When selecting a new range, it is important to choose a model that is energy efficient and meets your cooking needs. Energy-efficient ranges can save you money on your electricity bill and reduce your carbon footprint. Look for ranges with features such as induction cooking, which is more energy efficient than traditional electric or gas cooking. It is also important to consider the size and features of the range to ensure that it meets your cooking needs. Choose a range with enough burners and oven space to accommodate your typical cooking tasks. Additionally, consider features such as self-cleaning ovens, convection cooking, and built-in timers to make cooking easier and more convenient. Before installing the new range, be sure to read the manufacturer's instructions carefully. The instructions will provide detailed information on how to properly install the range and connect it to the electrical system. Follow the instructions carefully to ensure that the range is installed correctly and safely. If you are not comfortable performing the installation yourself, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to do the work. A qualified electrician will have the knowledge and experience to install the range safely and correctly, ensuring that it meets all applicable codes and regulations. After the range is installed, it is important to test it to ensure that it is working properly. Turn on all the burners and the oven to make sure that they are heating up correctly. Check the controls to make sure that they are working smoothly and accurately. If you notice any problems, such as burners that are not heating up or controls that are not working properly, contact a qualified electrician to troubleshoot the issue. Regular maintenance can help to keep your range working properly and extend its lifespan. Clean the range regularly to remove any spills or food debris. Check the burners and oven elements to make sure that they are clean and free of any buildup. Inspect the wiring and connections to make sure that they are tight and secure. If you notice any signs of wear or damage, such as frayed wires or loose connections, contact a qualified electrician to repair the issue. By following these tips, you can ensure that your new range is installed safely and correctly and that it provides years of reliable service. Remember to always consult with a qualified electrician for any electrical work to ensure compliance with local codes and regulations. The electrical work can be dangerous if not performed correctly, so it is always best to seek professional assistance when in doubt. The NEC is updated every 3 years, so it is important to stay up to date on the latest requirements. Consult with a qualified electrician or electrical inspector to ensure that your installation meets the current code. The information provided here is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional electrical advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician for any electrical work to ensure compliance with local codes and regulations. The proper installation and maintenance of electrical appliances are essential for ensuring electrical safety and preventing potential hazards. By following the guidelines and recommendations provided here, you can help to ensure that your home is safe and protected from electrical risks. Remember to always exercise caution when working with electricity and to seek professional assistance when in doubt. The safety of yourself and your family depends on it. Also, local municipalities might have amendments or changes to the NEC code in force. Check with the local authority having jurisdiction before commencing any electrical work to ensure all work is compliant and safe. In addition to the NEC requirements, there may be local codes or regulations that apply to range installations. These local codes may be more stringent than the NEC requirements, so it is important to be aware of them. Contact your local building department or electrical inspector to learn about any local codes or regulations that apply to range installations in your area. It's important to note that while 50 amp receptacles may be rated for 50 amps, the actual allowable load they can continuously carry might be less depending on the specific receptacle and installation conditions. Always consult the manufacturer's specifications and relevant codes for rating factors. Another point to consider is voltage drop. Long circuit runs can lead to voltage drop, which can affect the performance of the range. Use appropriate conductor sizes to minimize voltage drop. Consult the NEC for voltage drop calculations and recommendations. Consider the ambient temperature when sizing conductors. Higher ambient temperatures can reduce the ampacity of conductors. Use appropriate rating factors as specified in the NEC. Remember that safety is always the top priority. If you are not comfortable performing any electrical work, hire a qualified electrician. The NEC provides minimum safety standards, but it is always best to err on the side of caution. If you have any questions or concerns, consult with a qualified electrician or electrical inspector. By following these guidelines, you can help to ensure that your range installation is safe and compliant.